Is one of the ones you just saw in that graphic for person of interest. I'm talking about Esther Pesaris, who's a holder of the OGW, Order of the Grand Warrior. That is a state commendation that is awarded by the president, and she was awarded because of her great work, which we'll talk about this morning, and more about some of the protests we saw yesterday. You were part of that. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And good morning to you. So a lot to cover this morning, but let's start with Esther, the woman, the girl who, growing up, did she imagine this would be her life? Talk to us about who Esther is.
Wow. I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah?
And I guess, yeah, from the age of 13, that's all. That's when I go back, I wanted to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was the inspiration. I guess there was a Greek lawyer called Byron Georgiadis, and I knew a few cases that he acted on. And then there was one particular case where I felt,
yeah.
I kind of knew that the person he defended was guilty, and that switched me. And it was sad that that switch happened, because I've spent most of my life in court. I think I was destined to be a lawyer, and I'm back to school, so I'm taking up law.
Nice.
Yeah.
So shifted from law to what? What became your next interest?
Then growing up in Mombasa being a tourist industry, I then thought go for the hotel management. And I did get a place in the University of Surrey after high school, but for some reason or the other, I didn't go. But then I started training with Block Hotels. Block Hotels used to have a 2-year program. So I got into their 2-year program. I did hotel training.
Right.
I worked as a hotelier. But there was a problem. At that point, when I was in a hotelier, you could only go as far as housekeeping or front office or food and beverage, the banqueting side.
Right.
Women were not allowed to go further because it was perceived that you could not be a general manager of a hotel because there was the night shift. And as a woman, you cannot do the night shift. Your husband will not understand. No. Your husband would not understand that you have to be in the hotel from 11 o'clock till 7 in the morning working. So perceptions, these are things that change. Today, a lot of hotels in Kenya are run by women.
True.
And around the world. So I think we move with time, we evolve. Women are no longer considered just the housewife and the mother, you know. So this is what I think life is all about. We have to embrace change and work together towards that change. Yeah.
So from the hotel industry, being there, many of you know, many know you for Adopt a Light.
Yes, I came.
And politics as well. You've several attempts there. So which one came first, politics or your venture?
No, Adopt a Light came first. It's Adopt a Light that actually drove me to go into politics, because at one point I felt it was a man's world, and then all of a sudden here was I running a business, and then politics was discussing it,
right?
You know, and politics was having an impact on it. So, but that happened even with my first business. My first business was a tailoring outfit, and when I say politics, it was indirectly affected by politics.
Right.
Eldoret Airport opened. All of a sudden, you had an influx of T-shirts coming in from India, Dubai. We were producing T-shirts at about 150 shillings. T-shirts were coming in at 90 shillings. 300 people were losing their jobs. Mitumbas were coming in. So I felt, who's making these decisions? I started asking, who's making these decisions?
Right.
It was government. Who's not controlling the influx of T-shirts coming in without duty? Who's not checking that duty should be high to protect local industry? So I started feeling the impact of politics in my business, and then of course politics in my life. Because when you're discussing me and saying, oh, she has this contract, why did she get this contract? She's a woman, she shouldn't make this much money. I started thinking, okay, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And then I started interacting with politicians. I started going into offices like anti-corruption, which is a government body. Who puts this government body? What's it supposed to do? I mean, I remember going to John Githongo, and he was at that time based in State House. And I said, look, I don't know how to deal with this. I have this contract. The laws allow me, my lawyers have shown me the local government authority says that I'm allowed to partner with the city county. We've signed an agreement. They're fighting me. They want money. And then, you know, there was these groupings. You had councillors, now MCAs.
Yeah.
If you want something done, you have groups. And each group is backed by somebody. So I thought, my goodness, what's going on here? And to understand it, and I thought, get into politics. It wasn't something I thought when I was young, I want to be a politician.
Yeah, it is out of everything you're experiencing and what was happening around you. Yeah. Let's go back a little bit to Adopt a Light and how that was born.
Wow. Okay. I had a problem in my personal relationship. I needed to get my independence. I mean, I basically, when I met the...
You were dating or married?
Well, no, when I met the father of my kids. I mean, he asked for my hand in marriage. Whether I'm married to him or not is a matter of moods. One day I am his wife, one day I'm not his wife. I've lost track. So I just told him, you know what, you decide. Until further notice, you decide. But when I realized that I had my business, Sharper Images, and he basically told my father, you know, I don't want her working. He was intimidated with the fact that I was always in hotels or in having meetings with people, going for business conferences, etc. So he said to my father, you know, she's embarrassing me by doing all these
things. She's
work.
So busy.
You know, I mean, I'm Pius Ngugi. I can afford to look after my woman. She's pregnant right now, and she's still going for meetings and business. And this was the time I was doing the Olympic contract for Coca-Cola, and I was always with the Europeans of Coca-Cola, the businessmen, and he just didn't like it. So my father said, you know what, he's right. You know, focus on the children right now. You've done this for so long, so sell the business. So I sold Adopt a Light.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the relationship didn't go the way I wanted, because then I found out he's married, and I found out he's got other women, the polygamous nature of men. And I was like, okay, I need to become independent. I need to make money. I need to have my own money, because he cut the money. And here was I now, I don't have the income, he's cut the money. So I just, you know, I was actually, my son was 9 months, and I was breastfeeding. And I said to my mother, we're going to have no money next month, you know, so I have to do something. You know, and I remember using using nail bite, the quinine in nail bite, to actually stop my son from breastfeeding and saying, Mama, it's gone bad, you know, it's gone bad. And I said to my mom, I'm going to South Africa. I cannot find ideas in Kenya of what to do. I need to go to South Africa because it's emerging, it's coming up. Let me see, what can I do? We need to earn money.
Yeah.
I mean, I have these 2 children now. I have to earn money.
This was each year?
Roughly 1999.
Okay.
Yeah, 2000, early 2000, because my son was born in December 1999. And off I went to South Africa. And one thing that hit me on my way to the airport, and this is, you know, sometimes God takes you, the universe takes you, you find your niche. Always listen to that voice that's talking to you.
Right.
And I was driving on my way to the airport, and there were these huge reflective signs saying, do not stop, danger, do not stop. And I'm on my way to the airport, and I'm thinking, what if my car breaks down? You know, and I was wondering, why are they saying not to stop?
Yeah, what's the danger?
And then, what's the danger? And then I realized that the streets were actually very dark. There were no lights on Mombasa Road.
Yeah.
And I get to South Africa, because it's a 4 or 5 hour flight, and I arrive still in the night. Okay, I left Kenya in the night, in the dark, and I get to South Africa when it's still dark. And I get out of the airport, and there's lights. And then I thought, my goodness, I never realized we were living in darkness. I didn't. I mean, you get used to it.
Yeah,
you know?
you're like, wow, this is a whole new world.
Wow, how come they have so many lights? And then, you know, I started seeing signs. No, I actually called the municipal council. I started seeing advertisements on light poles. And I called the municipal council, and I said, you know, I Googled lighting in South Africa, and I came across a project that the Pretoria University was doing with the councils, Adopt a Light. But their Adopt a Light was different. Their model was, we sell advertising on our poles, we get the income, and we light the slums, the townships. They call them townships, we call them slums. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I went into Soweto. Everybody goes to Soweto. It's like everybody comes to Kibera. Everybody in South Africa goes to Soweto. So I went to Soweto, and I saw these huge towers. And I thought, wow. I mean, this is amazing, you know. And I actually went into the municipal county in South Africa, and Joburg, and they told me, we don't do the lighting. I said, so who does? The Kenya Power and Lighting equivalent. I went to see them. I mean, I was daring. I was there for a week, and I saw all these people. I saw reflective. You know, people don't know this, but I'm the one who brought reflective jackets to Kenya. Oh. I started with the first reflective jacket that was brought to Kenya. I brought it. But then I came up with a company called Be Seen, Be Safe. But then when I came to Kenya, this was the irony. I had 4 or 5 ideas. I didn't get one idea. I came up with these dustbins for keeping garbage because I thought, wow, people have dustbins to keep garbage. People have reflective jackets to be visible at night. The police are so smart. I came with everything. And then I came with contacts at the municipal. So Uhuru Kenyatta was the local government minister. He was, of course, going to run for president. He was already Project Uhuru. We had Mate and I can't remember the mayor's name. And I basically put the proposal forward. And Joe Akech, yes, I met Joe Akech. I didn't even know where listen, this was terrible. I didn't even know where Nairobi City Council was. Okay. I had to call Joshua Kuthe, the late Joshua Kuthe, who worked for Coca-Cola because I knew him. I said, Joshua, you're always telling me about the county because you have licenses for your kiosks. Who can I talk to? How do I get there? And he said, let me get Joe Akech for you. So I met with Joe Akech. He took me in to meet the mayor. They looked at the laws, the local authority laws, and they said, yes, we are allowed to partner with anyone for the maintenance of lighting. I said,
so at that time, you'd just taken the lighting proposal?
Yes, I took the lighting proposal to them. I didn't even have a company, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm talking to them about it. I haven't formed a company. Yeah. The negotiations were going on. Then I formed the company, all right? Then we entered an agreement. But you see, the thing is, in Kenya, unfortunately, whoever has the money to steer the media in the direction that they want can create public perception. So, and then the courts, of course, unfortunately, we have judges that can be compromised as well, all right? And we also have judges that will rather just be safe than actually be daring enough to challenge the law within their rulings. You know, I mean, if you look at the UK, everything is formed on case laws. It's because today you can say that the strength of their judiciary is in the judges that made the decisions that became case laws, and then the parliamentarians who followed it up with statutes, all right? So we have a situation here that we don't have bold enough judges, bold enough lawyers, but we're getting there.
Okay, let me go back to, you go in, you come up back with this idea from South Africa, roll it out, and it becomes a big thing. It is in essence what got you this Order of the Grand Warrior.
I know. Unfortunately or fortunately, I have no idea. I actually put that thing in my cupboard, never took it out again because...
Why?
Because, you know what, when I got it, I was so proud. I mean, and then I was told that you wear this when you're invited to State House for state functions. And I thought, okay, in fact, so I never got invited to any more state functions. Having said that, I was invited for the president's inauguration. All right, though a lot of people felt, what are you doing here? You didn't vote for him. But it was a statement that I don't have to vote for the president to be invited for the inauguration. We were invited because I think they chose to invite leaders from every political party that took part. Some went, some boycotted, you know. But I went, because when I got the invite, I was, wow, I'm invited. Even though I didn't vote for him, I'm invited. And I thought that was fantastic. I mean, that was the first time that I actually started having respect for whatever surrounds the president, because we always say sometimes things happen around the president and it's not necessarily the president. But if he gets a good team around him, then he steers the country in the right direction.
So what is the state of Adopt-A-Light now?
Wow, the state of Adopt-A-Light. You know, Adopt-A-Light was it was judiciary, it was anti-corruption not functioning or being influenced, it was the state not paying attention, because I got the commendation because of Lighting Nairobi. Everybody knows that I brought the concept, I brought the first tower high mast in Kenya, you know, but the thing is, the status right now is Adopt-A-Light has been under a hostile takeover. Magnet Ventures, a company, decided they want this business, and they created an association, and they basically fought us and fought us and fought us, and they're still fighting us. In fact, what was so bad is when we finally were beaten down completely, this company that used to do only outdoor advertising billboards comes and takes all the workers that Adopt-A-Light trained through the South Africans and offers them double salary to move to him. Today, the government has a tender in Kibera. He's there trying to light Kibera. So he loved the idea. He couldn't think it, but he had the money and the influence to take it, which is fine. I have a brain. I have other ideas that I can think and implement. So with Adopt-A-Light, unfortunately, the county of Nairobi will one day pay a fortune, because instead of coming to terms and talking, instead of saying we're not Nairobi City Council who signed with you, we are City Council of Nairobi, so you don't have a contract. That's their argument. All right?
Wow.
And they threw me out just before the elections, Dick Wadhika, because it was about money. Before the elections, you do things because whoever pays you, you will fight for them because you're looking for campaign money. These are things that we go through and we have to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I went into politics because it taught me a lot. Will I go back into politics in the future? Wow, they say politics is a disease that is once in a while active and once in a while dormant.
Yeah.
Currently it's dormant, you know, but
it might just come back.
Yeah,
Ahead
it
of
might just come
2017.
back.
You never know, you may get the bag.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about politics. But let's go back to the protest yesterday. When the stripping incidents first hit the headlines and everybody outraged talking about it, what did you think?
Well, I started, you know, I never used to tweet. And my office, I have a team that helps with the Facebook. And I called my guy, and the guy in the office, the IT guy, and I said, tell me, how does Twitter work? Because it was linked to the Facebook. And he kind of showed me, and I said, because I don't have the time. I'm so busy in Kibera.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort out a number of issues at Adopt a Light. I've got the children as well. I said, I need to learn how to tweet. So I took to tweeting. And I was angry. I was so angry about what happened with the lady in Nairobi. And then I started, when you Google, you get all the other incidents. It happened in Kitengela. And then there was a clip that was branded Mombasa. And I basically sent a message to Joho. And I said, Joho, you know what? We're a tourist country. Whoever put this clip up and said it was Mombasa, right? You need to find out and you need to bring them to book. Because at the end of the day, later on we found out it wasn't Mombasa. It was an incident that happened in Tanzania. So I would caution everybody, when you see things in the internet, unless you verify and you're absolutely sure, right? It's very, very difficult to just keep passing it on and passing it on. So this is the one that happened in Tanzania. I mean, really, really hit a nerve, because the manner in which it happened, she was literally battling for her life there. They were beating her, they were pushing her down, they were fingering her, they were, I mean, and nobody, you know, for me, it was like nobody was doing anything about this. Then I wanted to look at campaigns, and because India went through a situation where women were being degraded, and I looked at some of the commercials and the advertisements online with India, and the creation of a shield around the woman. I thought, why do our Kenyan men not do that? But having said that, yesterday when this group came to attack us, one of the men said, can we form a shield around our women?
So there's
and that was so fantastic. He stood up at the High Court and said, let's form a shield around our women. So I took to tweeting, and then of course I started getting insulted, and then it made me realize something. I know why politicians, women in general, try and shy away from such controversial topics. Because the first thing that comes out, what is your marital status? Excuse me. If there's an issue in my marital status, don't look at me alone. The man has a problem too. All right? Next, prostitutes. I mean, you know, they go so low, you know. We have to be cheap. We have to be of loose character. Let me tell you, over 50% of the women in Kenya, right, are single mothers. And they're single mothers because of irresponsible men. Because men have a tendency of being very polygamous. So they come here, they make a child, they move to the next one, they make a child, they move to the next one, they make a child, and the story goes on. What happens then? The woman becomes a single mother. She struggles. She raises that child. I mean, Munga, chairman of Equity, raised by a single mom. Barack Obama, president of the USA, raised by a single mom. Give me a break, give the women a break. We are not prostitutes, all right? We may be single because the caliber and the quality of men is low. So raise your standards and we will be married.
So you took to Twitter and you were condemning what happened, and then you went on a tweet with one of the perhaps people you want to
Don't even mention him. Don't even mention him. You know why? I believe, and I said this on Twitter, I said the people that have nothing nice to say about us, the people that condemn us, the people are entitled to their opinion, but what they think about us is their problem. It's not our problem. So I wouldn't really want to discuss any of the people that have something negative to say. I wanted to discuss the Kilimani women, all right, who are branded as being single, rich, immoral prostitutes now. Hello. I met these women last week. In fact, we were connected by Ronnie Asumba, the running mate of Peter Kenneth. He called me and he says, Esther, you've taken to Twitter. These women want to meet you. Can you meet them? All right. And yesterday, when we took to the streets, the crew was there. There were women that had nothing to do with Kilimani women. There were women that came from different institutions. There was foreign media. There was local media. There were Kenyans who just joined the demonstration. As far as I'm concerned, every Kenyan that was there yesterday was there because they felt the pain. Let's not forget, why were we there yesterday? We felt the pain of the women who were stripped. In Western Kenya, 4 months ago, a woman was stripped and she committed suicide.
Oh my.
We need statistics, we need data, we need information.
Right. Okay. Before we continue, we have a call online, Josephine. Josephine, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, Esther.
Hello.
I'm Josephine Bell.
Okay.
You are my employer.
Sorry?
You are my employer at Shafa Images.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is Josephine Bell.
Right. Great. I remember you, Josephine.
I actually worked for you.
Yes.
I voted for you.
Thank you.
And I'm actually watching you and I'm so upset.
Why
I'm upset because you are saying, you're talking my language. You have worked for women. You have worked for yourself.
Yes.
There's never been any appreciation.
True.
And by the way, I voted for you.
Thank you.
I now work for government. And through your mentoring.
Yes.
And basically, I don't have a question or a comment. All I'm saying is, for the first time, I am on national TV. And I'd like to tell you that you have made it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Josephine. At least they're coming out to commend some of your work and that she supported you all along and was one of your employees.
You know, I don't take credit for this. I think some of our gifts come from God.
Right.
But I have so many women out there, I mean, that I know somehow or the other I inspired and they became someone, you know. I mean, I have Esther Angomeli, who runs Media Edge. And one day she sat me down and she says, you know, actually Esther got me out of the closet. And then Jeff Koinange. Esther took me for coffee about 3 months ago and she says, where are you? What happened to the Esther that I know? Why are you not out there? And I said, you know what? I'm so exhausted from it all. I just want to just be. And she goes, no, you cannot hide. You know, look at me. Look at where I am. It's because of you. And I have, I remember Rose Kamotho, before she started Regional Reach, she came to me and she says, how do you do it as a woman? I mean, run your own business. Because I was really one of Kenya's first female entrepreneurs out in the public domain. There might have been others that were there. And it's lovely. It's lovely. I can't say I'm perfect. We do make mistakes. We do have haters. But I think overall, I try as much as possible to inspire and to help and to motivate. And when I talk about my life, it's not because I want to condemn someone. The father of my children is the father of my children. I love him, my kids love him. But there are certain things around our society that are wrong. And I think it's going to take time and a process. You know, I always say to my children, your father won't win the award for best father, but he wouldn't win the award for the worst father. So whilst we have issues, right? And many families have issues. The most important thing is to accept that we're not perfect and it's a work in progress to live together. It's a work in progress.
We have another call online, Paul Mutua. Good morning, Paul. Paul? Do you still have him? Hello? Hello? All right. I think we've lost Paul. If he calls back, we'll take the call, but keep your calls coming and tweets as well. But back to the protest and looking at the flip side of this, because everyone that went out there for My Dress, My Choice, you know, stood for a woman deserves and has a right to choose whatever it is she wants to wear. Some men should not take it upon themselves to be the moral authority of how it is you dress. But on the flip side, the blogger, Robert Alai, has been using a hashtag, nudity is not my choice. So there are those who say that at the end of the day, there's a responsibility on the women to be careful how it is they're dressing, not to expose too much. In essence, you know, insinuating that there's a responsibility that if you do not, then don't be shocked or don't complain if certain things happen.
Okay, I want to tell you something. Nudity is not my choice. And I want you to understand this. If nudity is not your choice, why were you stripping the women nude? They were not nude to start off with. If nudity is not your choice, there's an irony there, okay? It is their choice. They didn't do this. Robert Alai, whoever he is, because I've actually asked him, who are you? Tell me about yourself. And he hasn't answered. He just continues calling us names, all right? So I hope he would tell me what's his level of education, what's his social background, what's his upbringing, because then I understand the person, all right? He hasn't answered that question, and everybody has asked him the same question. The beauty about Twitter is that everybody retweets, okay? Yeah. So now, if nudity is not your choice, then do not strip our women. Now, we are a country that has traditions where you have women in Turkana and Pokot walking topless, all right, because it's their tradition. You've got Maasai men who do not wear underwear. They wear the shuka. You've got tourists who come to our country, and I basically, when I go to a tourist hotel, I wear a bikini, I wear a swimsuit, all right? When I walk around Diani in the heat of Mombasa, I wear shorts. All right, I wear a mini, I can wear a backless, all right? My daughter would be in a tumbo cut. Excuse me, this is Kenya, all right? Then you've got the Muslims who cover up completely. You've got the Asians who also cover up. Let me tell you something. If I was invited to, in Mombasa, I'll tell you, in Mombasa, during the month of Ramadan, when I go on the streets to buy the beautiful stuff that the Muslims lay out for their fast, okay? I will go very, very dressed. I will not go in my shorts because I choose to respect the Muslims who are fasting. Culture, yeah. All right? I would not do that. And I grew up in Mombasa. And my mother taught me that this is Ramadan, dress up like this, right? Because the Muslims are fasting. And when you go in front of them, you do not dress like this, all right? On the other hand, when I go to an Asian home, or during the Westgate, we went to a lot of funerals, all right, of Asian families that we knew, right? I wore the shawl, you know, the veil on my head, okay? So there are times that people become, you know, do as the Romans do, so to speak. But that is a personal choice. Just because I chose not to be dressed in something that is short or open, right? And I won't call it indecent because it is not indecent. That is indecent maybe to somebody of a certain value, but it is not indecent to all Kenyans, all right? Okay. When I was growing up, my mother never let us go to church with jeans, never let us go to church with trousers. Today, you go to churches and everybody's wearing jeans. Times change. But that's not the problem. The problem is you becoming the law and you becoming the authority, which you are not. We have the courts, we have the law, and we have the police. Who decides? This is a dangerous territory. Who decides that you're indecent and not decent? The touts?
How do you think of how the authorities have handled that? And maybe let's talk about that after we speak to Felix Kemboy, who's on the line. Felix, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, actually, I may not have a question or a comment, but I have a compliment. Yes, to Esther. Esther, how are you?
She's good.
Yes, actually, I must commend you. We are in a society where it is so dynamic. But actually, I don't see a reason why somebody should touch a woman in the name of decency. You know, in this society, if it's not for a woman, our side will not be standing anymore. If you check most of the people, I myself, a big race for a single mom, a man prostitute, and I don't see a reason whereby another human being will try the woman in the name of stripping her, and that's against the law. Basic law, moral law. I don't see a reason whereby. I think as a society we are missing the point. But I don't know who will keep us that guideline for the single few months that are out there giving us guidance. We applaud you. We say congratulations. That's the only message I have for you.
All right. All right, Felix, thank you. Thanks for calling in and for watching the show. Did you get some of what he was saying?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, a bit as well as trying
the sound system wasn't that great, yeah. But I think all in all, he is one of the men that we love, one of the men that we embrace.
Right.
Because, you know, a woman cannot emancipate herself in a society where we have men and women. We need your support for our emancipation. And our emancipation doesn't mean that you lead us on the wrong track, all right? It means that we dialogue and we assist each other.
But the fact that this could happen and not just here, what's going on with our society?
Let me tell you something. Even if the police really move in and act, all right, arrest these people, charge them, I have a feeling that this debate is going to continue for long. Laws are made with a period and process of time, all right? So it's good that we're having the conversation, right? And it's sad that the conversation started with the degrading of women, all right?
Right.
But it's good that we're having the conversation. It's good that the deputy president did come out and say that they need to be arrested.
But no action yet.
No action yet. Now, I have a feeling that the intelligence of our police force needs to show us where the intelligence is. Because you know what? What is so sad is when the woman feels that because I'm a nobody, because I am just an ordinary Kenyan woman, right? And that was painful for me to hear, but it's the truth. Nobody's bothered. If I was the minister's wife, or if I was the daughter of a politician who was prominent or a businessman, then they would have already arrested these people. So we need the police to show that their utumishi is for wote. Yeah, kwa wote.
Yeah.
Because if they don't show that, the majority of people are Kenyans. Now, let me say something. Yesterday, something that I noticed and I fought against within the demonstration, and I also got to see the other side. When we went to the IG's office, there was these grill doors, and we were basically on the outside. Now, they knew we were having a demonstration. They gave us a permit. They knew we were coming to give the IG a petition. They closed that door. It took such a long time for somebody to come from upstairs to downstairs to take our petition. And we needed to go to the next office. Now, in the end, I told the officers that came there that please, you have to open the door so we can come in and give you this thing within your premises. Oh no, it's a matter of security. We don't know who is amongst you. And I said, well, excuse me, if you're scared, we should be even more scared.
Yeah.
Public officers are public officers. I think you have to get this into your head. You're employed by the people. Doesn't mean that we're coming to attack you. We're coming to talk to you, and you cannot put those grill doors and say these are your barriers. All right? We came in peace. We didn't come to create war. Okay? Eventually they opened the door, we got in, we gave them. And then what was also nice is when they recognized that this other group had come, and they were actually attempting to strip our women right there, and I was a target. They wanted to get me, and the guys came and made a shield around me, you know? And I was like, okay, all right, I mean.
Yeah.
This is leadership, you know? When you stick your neck out, you're prepared for
all of these things that will happen.
Chop or whatever.
Yeah. So we're going to take a short break and continue with this discussion, get more into politics and whether 2017 will see you on the ballot. So that and more is still coming up right here on Morning Express. Don't go away.